Bigfoots in Alaska, they're reported to be 12 to 15 feet tall. And you get down around Washington State, they're always like 10. You get down around Appalachias, they're like 8, 9 feet tall. So, and you get down towards the skunk apes, down towards Florida, they're always 8, 7. So you can just see there's a little progression in there, right? But no, I could see Esau saying, "Hey, look, I'm dying. Like, help me, hide me, feed me. They're after me, right? Swear it, right? So yeah, what does it matter if I'm dead, right? That's a really good one, man. Nah, good. Hey, good connected dots there, man. Good job, bro.
Yeah, man. It was awesome just to find this stuff. I love digging through this stuff and connecting these dots. And so when I found that too, I had to go back to Genesis.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got to looking, and I was like, is there any more backstory to these garments? And I stumbled across Louis Ginsburg, and he wrote like a 7-book series called The Legends of the Jews. And he compiled all the ancient legends and lore of the Jewish people and compiled them, in a 7-book series. And it's amazing. I got the digital copy through Logos software. And so I got to looking through there and reading some stuff. And I was going through just even the Bible, Lucifer, or not even Lucifer, because that's a Latin translation, but the Nakash in Genesis, that Hebrew word can mean serpent. That's right. How it's translated into English. But for those that's not familiar with Mike Heiser, he done great work on breaking that word down, and just the Hebrew language is just like the English language. One word can have multiple meanings. So you have to look at the context of how that word's used to figure out, what is the best, word to put in there. So when you read in the garden, about this Nakash that deceived Adam and Eve and caused the fall, this word Nakash, it can mean serpent, but can also mean the shining one, or the one who practices divination.
Mm-hmm.
So what makes more sense? A talking snake caused the fall of Adam and Eve, or a shining one, a one who practices divination, a divine being, a member of God's divine council that was there, that rebelled and caused the fall? That way, that was something that Adam and Eve seen every day in the garden, was familiar with, trusted. To me, that makes a lot more sense than a talking snake.
Yeah, no, you're totally dialed on. I'll add a little extra layer there. I've had several conversations, and I think now people may be starting to come around a little bit more. I've often said that 100% it wasn't a snake. I even went to the theory that it was a reptilian-like creature, like a Draco or something like that, because if you read the Bible, Satan is referred to as the dragon, that old serpent or something like that, right? And then there was also something I read that he took on the form of a dragon as his final form when he fought Michael, when him and Michael battled. And again, if you follow every single ancient culture has a word for a shape-shifting reptilian creature. Every single one of them, from the African Zulu to the Japanese, to the Hindus, the Naga. Even South America, in Peru, they have a statue down there of a giant reptilian-looking god that they used to pray to back in the day that looks like basically kind of a T-Rex head, right? But when you read the fall of Adam and Eve, they call it the temptation of Eve, but really all he does is ask a question. Did God really say this? Did he say you can't do that? Did he really say that? Adam's not present when this happens, right? Eve's alone with what you just said, with something that didn't scare her. It wasn't like the snake was just there talking to her. There is no other mentions of any other animals talking in the garden. There's no other like she's talking to a dog or a rabbit. Like it wasn't like an enchanted forest, right? So to me, I'm like, I always on this channel I have like a baseline mentality what I approach to, like, okay, we know it was something, right? We know that something happened, that something was there, but it wasn't a talking boa constrictor on a tree branch like that what was that movie Mowgli was, the Jungle Book. It wasn't that. I 100% wasn't that, and that bothers Christians. I don't know why, man. And like I said, man, that bothers Christians when I bring that up, that it could possibly be that. And if you even go and read more, I mean, if you just analyze the text, when he comes into the garden, he looks at Eve and asks, "Where's Adam?" Right? Why are you hiding? What's going on? He already knows. You know what I'm saying? It's the same way, like I say, you catch your kid drawn with a crayon on the wall in the bedroom, and you walk in there and said, "Who did this?" You already know who did it, right? She's the only one in the room with a crayon. But it was the punishment for the serpent. The serpent didn't speak, right? He doesn't really say anything, doesn't do nothing. And he says, "Okay, you're doomed to crawl on your belly for the rest of your life, and you'll be I think what he said, a sore in them, and there'll be a bruise on your you'll be a sore on their heel and a bruise on your head," or something like that, right? And then, man, the Bible goes on to constantly reference those on the earth and in it, on the earth and in it, on the earth and in it, will bend the knee or whatever. So that is another good reference right there too, because if you go down, if you don't even have to go down that, if you just subscribe to the theory that the Watchers were on the earth at that time, she was talking to somebody that she knew, or that something that didn't alarm her, and it was just he just put that seed in her ear and she ran with it, right? So yeah, that's another great connection. Or what? So in your opinion, what do you think it was?
I think it was a member of God's divine council.
Right.
Because where it says, in Genesis, it says, "Let us make man in our image."
Right.
That's plural language. I don't think that was the Trinity. That's how I was raised. But after I got to reading and studying that stuff, I mean, they had a divine council worldview.
Yeah.
And the Greeks stole it. When you think of Zeus and the pantheon of gods, that's how the ancient Jewish people seen Yahweh. But he was the creator God, and all these other gods were created, little g
lowercase
gods.
G's.
Yeah. And they, helped him like a family or a king's court.
Subscribe now and turn on the notifications to join us on this extraordinary journey into the unknown.